Chris here with another fresh tip for you all. In this video, we're going to continue our look at painting the Stormcast Eternal Castigator. In this video, we're going to work on the base, as we pretty much finished with the main model itself. Now, the model has not been glued into the base, and he was primed separately, as you may recall, and the base has been given a prime of Stynal Res Gray, Storm Vermin Fur, and Rhinox Hide are going to be the first colors we're going to use here. We're going to slap a little bit of both of these colors onto a palette. We're not mixing these on the palette. I'm going to take a larger base coating brush and begin applying this onto the base. Now the light gray does, kind of look a bit like the gray that's the primer, but just as long as you work your way around and go for even coverage. You can see I'm just simply taking a bit of that Rhinox Hide, mixing it in, and it's a bit of a wet on wet blend that I'm doing here onto the base, and this is just to give me some interesting color variation. I'm sticking with mostly browns, as a lot of the colors on the model are already mostly a brown like consistency as far as the bronze and shadow points and everything like that. We're not applying this too heavily. It looks pretty haphazard on the model, but that's just because we're just doing this wet on wet blend here. Again, this is one of those points where you have an opportunity to play with how color interacts and on a surface. Egg-Rax Earthshade is next here. I'm gonna also use a paper towel, as I'm gonna draw the excess off the surface and kind of do a quick wipe on the surface. Now I'm using the gloss variety here, but this is actually better if you probably use the regular matte variety. And just very quickly, I'm just drawing the excess off because I don't want it to pool up too heavily on the flat surfaces like the cobblestones. I just simply want it to fall within the recesses and also give us a bit of color variation and such on the little textured ground along the perimeter of the base. Here you can see I'm just laying a little bit more into the recesses where it wasn't quite gathering enough, but otherwise that is pretty much it. We're going to let that dry. We're going to come in with some Dawn Stone. We're going to slap this onto our palette. We're going to use a larger dry brush here to do the base. And you can see because we use the gloss variety, you can see it looks still kind of shiny, but that's because, again, we use the gloss. And I'm going to begin using a nice little dry brush here and begin applying this color. And I'm keeping my hand very, very light. The model is not moving in my hands. You can see I'm just simply going around. Basically, always when you are dry brushing, work against the grain. So the cobblestone area, I do, so you can see semicircular type brush strokes just to get it around to all the edges. But again, this is, I'm not applying a lot of pressure with the brush. It is really just letting the tips of the bristles run along the surface and apply and deposit essentially that paint onto those edges. Next is Tyrant Skull. This is Citadel Dry. Again, I'm going to use the same brush, and very lightly I'm just going to catch just the very high point of the pillar. So I'm just going to go with a straight back and forth motion to get most of that. I'm just looking to build up a bit of this color here, and I'll also apply it onto the cobblestones, and I'll do a semicircular brush motion as well on there just to get those edges and such. Again, you can see it's mostly concentrating in with the center, but otherwise that is pretty much it. And you can see we're just going for a bit of the edges as well, the dust. Again, it's just a very, very light, and with this warmer color, it does play a bit with the browns and the grays. Gives you, not just a solid gray tone. Here you can see we're going to grab some Lamian Medium. I'm going to drop 2 little droplets onto my palette. I've got my Lamian Medium in my dropper bottle, so anybody wondering what I did there. Using a larger base coating brush, and I'm just simply going to apply this onto the surface. And this is just mainly so that I knock a bit of those shiny points out of the area. As you may recall, we use the Egg-Rax Earthshade gloss, and so I'm just simply working this way around the model surface. You can see that it's kind of shiny initially, but then once it's dry, it gives us a nice even matte finish. And that is it for the base. This is basically part 1 of working on this base, so stay tuned for part 2 or base continued. But that is it, and we're going to continue, and we're going to finish this model in the next episode. Huge thank you to all my patrons. Without their support, these videos would not be possible. If you're considering Patreon support, click the link in the description below and it'll take you off to a wonderful world of internets and such. Take care of those brushes and they will take care of you. Hopefully. They better. Just do it.